This is WIUR Radio.
All right, we're finally back. So, I know it's been like 3 weeks. You've probably been like, "Where have you been?" That kinda stuff. There have been 2 snow days, and there was also a holiday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So, yeah, I haven't been doing this for a while, so sorry if I'm a little bit unprepared, but yeah, here I am, I'm back. Sorry, I don't have a guest speaker this time because this was very last minute. There's been a lot going on since I've been doing the show. So yeah, I'm finally back. It's a full week at school, it's not any more snow days, but yeah, I'm gonna get right into it 'cause there's a lot that I was hoping to talk about. I don't know if I'll get to all of it in time. Yeah, so one of the things I wanted to mention is not last weekend, but the one before. So this was, like, a little over a week ago. I went on this retreat, right? So I think it was called Journey Together, and I was gonna talk about it in the last show, but then, like, the snow day happened, but briefly just wanna say how great of an experience it was, and just going on something like this, it was kinda like doing the radio show itself. It's something that felt scary to sign up for at first, but once I went on it, like, I got so much out of it, especially 'cause the timing was so perfect. I was, like throughout that week, I was really struggling with my faith, and I kinda felt isolated, so it was so nice when I came on this retreat saying like, "Oh, this will definitely help my faith," but I did not realize the connections I made would be so strong, like, I really got more out of this than I thought I would, so just let that be a lesson to you. If you ever feel like you're on the fence about trying something new, you may as well go for it, you'll get a lot out of it, and if anyone from this retreat, the Journey Together thing is watching, hello. Thank you for watching this podcast, and I hope you will enjoy this. Okay. Anyway, I also just wanted to promote, Young Life as well, one of the clubs from this school, which I met some of the people on this retreat there. Wait, no, other way around, sorry. There are people from Young Life who I met at this retreat that I connected with, and Young Life is one of the best clubs I've ever joined. Actually, no, it is the best, I would say. So every Wednesday at it used to be 9, now it's 9:15 PM, kinda late, I know, but we do activities, we do, like, all kinds of fun things, like, almost like field day kinda games inside, I'm trying to think of a really fun activity we did. Last week we did it was some game where you grab a card out of a hat, and you have to make an animal noise that matches another person's. Like, everyone, you kinda, like, have to find your partner, it's one of those kinda games, but we do stuff like that, and then we also talk about scripture too, and every week, like last week, we do, like, a theme night. So last week was 80s theme, there was, like, a Just Dance challenge that 2 guys versus 2 girls, it was so fun to watch, and then also every month, there's, one of the guys who runs the club, Steve, he has a beautiful house not far from the campus, so he'll have everybody there, he'll order pizzas, and it's such a fun, time to just socialize and have a good time, just, get away from those worries of life in college. So, yeah, I definitely recommend checking out Young Life. They usually meet in the Commons in LSU, 9:15 every Wednesday. Whether you have faith or not, if you just wanna find community, I think this is a great place for you. So, last Wednesday, I also just wanted to say, first movie I'm gonna talk about, the Wuthering Heights movie. So, the only reason that I went and saw this movie is because last spring in my English class, I spent more than half the semester having to read it, and it was hard for me to get into, and I'm not really one that does well with reading these kinds of books, like the long chapter ones with no pictures in it, and that's crazy of me to say because I'm concentrating in English. But yeah, it grew on me that story after having read it for so long and watching the movie, I don't know. It wasn't exactly the same, that's how I'll put it, but it was more of like a love theme than like an actual I mean, Wuthering Heights is a love story regardless, but the movie is a lot more romantic, I would say. It's a lot more focused on Heathcliff and Catherine's relationship than the other characters, and yeah, I just wanted to rant about this. In the in the story, the book, it's narrated by this guy named Mr. Lockwood, and he was the only character I pretty much liked in this whole book, and he had no sense of boundaries. This guy is just visiting Heathcliff's home without permission, like, traveling miles just to hear about some tea or whatever about what's been going on in this guy's life, and he ends up getting mauled by a dog or something, I don't know, but the whole thing is just funny to think about, and yeah, I was so disappointed. There was no part of him, not even a mention of him in this movie. But I also thought, like, I can see why people thought it was so emotional at the ending. I don't wanna spoil it, but I think the way it ended was better than how it actually, no, the story too had a good ending, but the movie, it was more based on Heathcliff and Catherine than the characters in the second half. But yes, it was an interesting movie. It was worth, all the money I paid to see it. I really just went for the experience. I didn't even pay attention to half of it. But, yeah, so there was a lot of drama in this movie, and speaking of that, the next topic I wanna talk about is popular series Total Drama Island, which I'm sure a lot of you may remember, or either that or you never heard of it. It's one of the 2. I'll get back to that after a quick ad break, and then I'll talk about that and the new Survivor season because I heard that's a big thing now.
Untouchable, unstoppable.
This is WIUR Sports Radio.
Hi, I'm Robbie Basil, president of WIUR Radio, and I hope you're enjoying today's show. Have you ever wanted to call the biggest games, the biggest moments for the biggest names for Iona Athletics? Then the newly founded WIUR Sports Radio is the place to be. Launched in January of 2025, our goal is to try and give broadcasters here at Iona an opportunity to learn, succeed, and get a chance to be on air. From getting to call the big moments at the hack Denied! Denied! To seeing the crack of the bat at City Park. I drive in the left field, around third, and it kicks away. In 10. We make those moments happen on our brand new WIUR Sports Radio platform. If you're interested, feel free to reach out to me via email or to the rest of my people to join the club. We are WIUR Sports Radio, Iona Athletics. Now, back to the show on WIUR, Iona University
I assume that that's before I get to this topic, I just remembered the other thing one last thing I wanted to mention about Wuthering Heights is that I saw, like, it was either in the comment section or something, but, well, I don't know if you are familiar with Kate Bush's, Wuthering song. I think it was her first ever song. She was able to basically summarize that story so well under 3 minutes compared to a movie that's, like, almost 2 hours long, so I just think that's hilarious, but anyway, now I'm going to be talking about, Total Drama Island and Survivor. They're pretty much similar. I'm sure you're a lot more familiar with Survivor, like that whole concept. It's I think around 20-ish people on an island or so, oh, no, they're on separate islands in Survivor. I watched the season before my sophomore year. It was not a new one, it was, like, kind of an older one with it was, like, pirate themed or something. You may be familiar with it if you're a huge Survivor fan. There was some guy named Rupert that I really liked, he was kind of everybody's favorite, and then this other guy named Johnny who was so obnoxious. Um, yeah, I really liked, watching Survivor, and I gotta get into the new season. I'll think about watching that. But Total Drama Island is very similar of the concept to that. It's I think it came out on another channel first before Cartoon Network, and I don't think they're making any more seasons. They made 2 seasons over the last 2 summers that I thought were okay. But yeah, the original seasons were they're so memorable to watch if you watched them when you were younger. It's one of those nostalgic TV shows. I got into it when I was in middle school, but yeah, it is such a great show that came out in, like, the early 2000s. It's very similar to Survivor. It's no, not 16, it's 22 campers, they're all teens, and they're all competing for a huge, cash prize through these ridiculous challenges, like, they're so thankful. The host of the show, Chris McClain, he is once you get to know him, you'll recognize him as one of the most evil characters of all time. That guy finds so much pleasure in torturing kids. I know that sounds crazy, yeah, he just loves to get on these guys' nerves and just put them through all these challenges or whatever, but yeah, it's one of those shows where if your team loses, one of you gets eliminated, it goes all the way to the last person standing. So the first season, it takes place on, like, a basic island, kinda like Survivor, and they do camp theme challenges, and I was very happy with it. I liked watching it for the first time, and then my 2 favorite seasons that came after it, it was Total Drama Action, which takes place in a film lot where each challenge is like a movie set theme, like, it'll be like, I'm trying to think, like, it could be like spy movie or whatever, it could be one of those, like a space exploration theme, like natural disasters, it's all, like, stuff like that, which I thought was so cool, and then World Tour, my personal favorite, when each episode takes place in a different country and they do some crazy challenge related to that, and when the contestant gets eliminated, they get thrown out of the plane, so it's pretty cool to watch. I know it's a cartoon, it's obviously scripted, but there are a lot of surprises that happen, which is why I got so into the show, and yeah, that's really why I love it so much. My favorite characters, if you're familiar with the show, my number 1 favorite would have to be Cody. I don't know why, there's just something about him that I find so relatable, I guess, it's just his personality. Not his the overconfident part of him, but just because, like, I don't know, he just gets treated kinda like a punching bag throughout the first season, and then in the 3rd one, he's just very chill with everybody, and I just like that about him. Like, I don't know, if I was in a show like that, I'd try to very much be like him, just try not to cause trouble with anybody, 'cause that's how he got so far in season 3. Yeah, sorry, I kinda spoiled that part, and then Noah too, he is I know it's fun talking about them back to back because there's a scene where Noah fell asleep and I don't know, I think he kissed Cody's ear or something, it was very weird, but yeah, Noah, because of just how sarcastic he acts all the time, you remember, like, some of the things he said, but he's always just so snappy and, like, has the best way to say things. I just love his character as well, and I'm glad that in season 3 and the other, show, Ridonkulous Race, that 7th season, that he shows a lot more. Yeah, I really like that character. I don't know about you guys, and this is kinda controversial, but Alejandro from season 3, he was very interesting too. I liked his whole, manipulation tactics and just kind of the character he was. He was very cool and just the vibe he was giving off. And it was just the whole ending with him, I think that was a little harsh what happened to him in, the final episode, but at the same time, he was manipulating people's relationships. He kinda had this coming. But yeah, that guy was something else. That guy was insane. And then if I had to choose I actually said season 3 is my favorite, the World Tour season, just because I just love the world theme and that stuff. Different country each time. Just the cast that they chose. I really like that whole thing. But then also season 2 as well, I used to not like that season, but after rewatching it so many times like I have been right now, I just really like the cast for that too with, like, Duncan and Harold, like, lasting so long. I really wish Harold was, like, in the final 3, that would've been so good, but, yeah, I know people don't really like Harold's character so much, but I personally think in season 2, that was, like, such a good fit for him, and he had a lot of potential. characters you might not like me saying this, but I wasn't so crazy about Lindsay. Like, yeah, she's very nice on the show, but, like, I don't know. The whole, like it's just so unrealistic how, like, stupid she can be sometimes in that show, like, she's always, like, looking for that Tyler guy even though he's, like, right in front of her. Like, that gets so annoying so quickly. Um, and then there was some other character I particularly Sugar from, like, season 6, I did not like her very much either. I don't know. She was supposed to kinda be, like, the villain of that season, but she was just very I don't know, she kinda felt like a pushover. And then actually, in the action season, it felt like there wasn't even a villain to begin with besides Courtney and, that Justin guy. They were both, Justin was kind of a pushover, and I felt sorry for him. He was one of my favorites too, just because he became more than just some, like, attractive guy label, he was just actually a player in 2nd season. But Courtney, I did not like how she was having all these advantages 'cause of that stupid lawyer stuff. She wasn't even supposed to be in the season, which is the other thing. Yeah, I don't know about, Courtney, she was a little ridiculous in season 2. What else do I have to say about this show? I guess I could talk a little bit more about Survivor 'cause, like, I don't know what I'm expecting for this new I didn't even check it out yet, but I always love those shows where it's elimination orders, like, someone gets voted out each time. A lot of surprises with that. I don't know what the season I was watching was called with the whole pirate thing. I was very happy with who won. 'Cause there was some crazy stuff that was going on. I remember this other time I was really young. I don't know, I was, like, sick or something, and I just had Survivor on in the background, and then my mom told me that there was a scene where there was, like, a part in the show where a guy ate a scorpion. I don't know what he was thinking 'cause they're not given food, that's the difference between, like, a show like this and total drama where the campers are actually provided with stuff. These people in Survivor are just on their own, they're literally in the wilderness, that's gotta be exhausting. Yeah, that is I mean, I can't could you really be that desperate to eat a scorpion though? I know that sounds very gross, but yeah, that is what happens in total drama too. Sometimes they're forced to do those eating challenges, and it's, like, really nasty, but that's what Chris finds, pleasure in, unfortunately. That's his character, and that's what makes him so evil. But yeah, it is I definitely recommend you check this out. I actually showed my little cousins it, the other night, and yeah, anything I rewatch, I just love to promote just because it doesn't get enough, recognition. Yeah, how much time do I have? Okay, I got some time left. Alright, I'm gonna run another ad, and then I have another thing I'd like to talk about.
This is WIUR Radio.
Hi, I'm Morgan Beastie from the Ionian, and I hope you're enjoying today's show. Are you looking for the latest scoop on campus news, sports, and more? Check out the Ionian, Iona University's very own award-winning student newspaper. We keep everything happening on and off campus. Want to know about the big game, the latest campus event? In the Ionian, join the conversation. Read, write, and get involved. Visit www.theionian.org or pick up a copy of your campus. Stay informed, stay connected. Now, back to WIUR, Iona University Radio.
Alright, so I was just thinking because of given the time I have left, I actually wasn't even gonna talk about this, but the last thing I was gonna talk about would've been really quick. I don't know if you've ever heard of this show called Curb Your Enthusiasm. That show is so funny. I've been rewatching it all week. It's about this guy named Larry David. He's a real person he's the co-producer of, Seinfeld. He's a great guy in real life, I'm sure, but he always gets himself into the most ridiculous situations because of how petty he is. Like, let's say if you're I don't know, there was an episode I saw where he's well, him and his wife are at dinner with this other couple, and they're paying the check or whatever, and he's thinking He's thanking the husband 'cause he's the one who paid. And then the wife is asking if he's gonna thank her. He's like, "Why do I have to thank you? Your husband's the one who paid." Then it gets into this whole heated argument, and, like, that was just funny to watch, and then meanwhile, Larry's best friend, Jeff, he has this allergy to dogs, and his wife has they have this German Shepherd making him miserable because of how allergies are affecting him, so him and Larry try to get the dog to that couple at dinner, they were saying they were looking to get a dog, but that's not like a puppy though, so Larry and Jeff are, like, trying to get the dog to them instead, and then when Larry brings the dog to that couple's house, the wife um, is saying, like, "Are you here to thank me?" And Larry's like, "Thank you for what?" And then they start arguing about that, and Larry just ends up giving the dog over, and yeah, Larry drives back to where Jeff lives, and his wife is furious. I'm telling you, Susie is, like, the funniest character in the whole show. Every episode she's in, she goes crazy, absolutely ballistic. So she starts yelling at Larry about all these Larry is, like, hysterical, upset, saying, "Bring her back the dog." So Larry's just got himself in a whole situation now. He has to go back to this house with the wife um, with the lady he just had an argument with. He still didn't thank her, so he comes over and he says, "I wanted to thank you for dinner the other night. I finally just wanted to say that." She believes him at first, and then he asks for the dog back, and she knows, like, what he's trying to do, and then they just start yelling at each other. Yeah, Larry, he has, like, this dog whistle that ends up getting the dog back. Now, if you, it's easier to just watch the whole episode than me describing for how funny it was, but that's literally the whole show. Larry will just bring up something, like, so petty, like, the most basic social rule to point out, and he won't hold back on his opinion. He won't change his mind about it, and that's how it gets back to him in the next few minutes or so. He just gets in all these escalating situations, and is, like, one of the funniest shows I've ever seen in my life, and what I love about it too is that he pretty much he improvises these scripts with, I guess like, he doesn't have it from start to finish. Every scene, they just come up with it, like, immediately, and then they don't come up with the next one until they're done with that scene, so I find that really impressive how they do those kinds of things. I don't know if I'm describing it right, but I know they improvise a lot of the stuff in that show, but it's very impressive, and they really do a great job with comedy. It's something I don't know if a lot of Iona students would be familiar with it. I know I watched it with one of my suite mates freshman year, but other than that, one of those shows that my parents showed me. It's one of those kinds of shows because it's came out a long it actually ended in 2024, so yeah, pretty old show, been going for, like, 10 years or so, more than that, definitely more than 10 actually, and other than that, 'cause I wasn't even gonna talk about this show. Oh, wow, okay. I guess another show then, it's actually a movie series, but 'cause given how much time I have, I'm sorry, like, I know I came so unprepared, I don't have a guess. I thought I would have one, but there's been stuff going on in the background. I haven't even thought about this. I woke up this morning, I was like, "Oh, what am I gonna talk about for my podcast?" But another thing I've been watching I can't think of anything else. I don't know if you're familiar you definitely know who James Bond is. I don't know if you ever seen this movie, though. It's one of those spy thriller series, the most classic of its kind. It's where yeah, Agent James Bond of, like, England, he's, like, going to all different countries, and he's fighting all these bad guys, and he never loses. He always has, like, smart ways of getting himself through any situation. He's not even afraid. This guy just, like 'cause he knows he's gonna win. He's, like, one of those confident guys, and that's something so fun about watching that. The 2 that I've seen, were Live and Let Die and The Man with the Golden those 2 movies were actually really good. My roommate who I watched Curb Your Enthusiasm with, he's actually one of the people who got me into the series, and he was telling me, like, that this is where the movies start to get good, and I'm like, "Yeah, okay." And, like, the first, like, 30 minutes or so, I'm like, I don't get it." Like, it's good, I know it's, like, kinda old, like, 70s, I know it wasn't as easy to produce these, but then it really picks up once I start watching, like, all the action scenes and that stuff, and I'm trying to think, Live and Let Die, the reason I love that one so much, I think a lot of it takes place in Jamaica, like, Doctor No One, in Live and Let Die, James Bond is, like, in one of those situations where he's trying to survive getting attacked by alligators, or no, crocodiles, sorry. There's a huge difference. Crocodiles are, like, enormous, they couldn't even fit in this room, yeah, he was basically up against those kinds of things, and I remember particularly what I really liked about that movie was the ending where I guess I don't wanna spoil anything, but the guy he was fighting on the train, he appears, like, we think that he's gone, but then, like, you see him standing outside of it, hysterically laughing, like those kinds of villains. I just love that, I just love seeing that. That was, like, absolute cinema right there, and the one that I watched, the other The Man with the Golden Gun, first off, one of the best soundtracks I've heard for a movie, the intro and outro, and I thought what was it? There was this really short guy, I think his name was, like, Nick Nack or something. I don't know, that was, like, really funny to see that guy, like the whole point of that movie, it was interesting. It was this assassin, which that's who the movie is named after, the Man with the Golden Gun. I forgot what his name was. It was I don't even know. I got a few minutes left, so this is kind of but his whole goal is that he's trying to be at the same level of James Bond and, like, have a one-on-one fight with him, and, yeah, of course, James ends up winning, but it's cool how, like, he's trying to assassinate him to be, like, the better one, and then I guess some of my favorite scenes from these movies would have to be, I would say there was one the first one, Doctor No, where I guess it was Doctor No, who he put a tarantula on his face while he was sleeping. That's gotta I can't imagine how scary that must be. I love spiders, but that's terrifying. And then there was some other scene Oddjob, I wanna talk about that guy. He's one of my favorite villains in the movie, in, Goldfinger. He, I don't know, there's something I like about him. He's, like, quiet, but he's also super strong, and, like, I remember he was driving this guy somewhere, and he was like, "What are you doing? You missed the turn." And he's just smiling, like, about to kill him. And then Jaws 2, which he's in the next one I'm about to see, I think The Spy Who Loved Me, and then Moonraker, he's in those 2 movies. I haven't seen him in either of them, like, actual scenes of it, but he is isn't that guy, like, 6'5" or something? He's a tall guy. Yeah, he's, very cool character, and I would love to see him in it. So maybe tonight even I'll watch it, let you know what I thought. Other than that, that's really all I got. I'm sorry, like I said, I was very prepared. I know I did, like, a lot of stuttering and, like, what I'm doing right now, you know? It's hard without a guest speaker. Please, if you ever wanna be, like, a guest speaker, like, reach out and let me know. We can definitely arrange something, figure out which show you wanna watch, like, me and Vinny did this week. And even just at all, if you like, you're always welcome to reach out to me whenever you feel like it. I love it when people initiate. I like to initiate, but I don't always want to be the one doing it, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, I just wanna thank you all for watching, and hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'm hoping that next week I'll be able to see you if nothing else will cause any day off or yeah, you know what I mean, I'm saying it like it's a good thing, but yeah, I hope to see you guys next week. Thank you for watching. This is Jay on Radio. I'm Daniel J. Beatty, signing off.